I think people do not understand yet the just complete tidal wave of change that is happening in payments with stablecoins, in financial rails with tokenization. And I'm excited about it as a venture capitalist because I get to see that the earliest days, invest in people, and then see that as this grows and as it just takes over these traditional payment markets and these traditional financial markets and just reinvents the way people interact with their merchants and their daily lives. So that's what I'm really excited about. We're a $4 billion venture capital firm. We invest in the leading edge of technology and how blockchains can essentially just recreate financial systems.
Do these businesses have to sign up for this or adopt this technology?
They don't need to, because people like Rain and what they're doing with the Visa network, and Visa is very heavily involved here, or people like Stripe, they are enabling the merchants to transact on these better rails without the merchants having to do anything that is any different whatsoever. A lot of these service providers who are just ripping out kind of antiquated bank infrastructure to improve on the payments, to improve on how we trade and provide more value to the end consumer.
So talk to me about Dragonfly. You said you're a venture capitalist. Who do you invest in? Why? What are you looking for?
So we invest in everything in and around blockchains, digital assets, cryptocurrencies. And what we are focused on is the changing of financial markets and new innovation in how financial markets and payment markets interact. Right? And so people like stablecoin companies, people who interact or provide services for stablecoins, but also core blockchains, where they led the seed round into Avalanche, who's one of the sponsors for the event that we've been at here in Wyoming. And so we've invested in and around everything to do in that ecosystem because we believe that this technology is recreating finance as.
How long have you been doing this?
So we've been around since 2017, but I've also personally I was actually on the first working group at Goldman in 2014 looking at cryptocurrencies. And I spent my whole career at the intersection of tech and finance. And I've long believed that this technology is recreating where we're going. And now you're really starting to see the excitement about it from states like Wyoming and from large financial institutions like Stripe and others.
And do you think the U.S., if it wasn't leading in the digital asset space before, is the framework from regulatory bodies like the SEC, for example, is that a game changer, do you think, or it was going to happen regardless?
So it was absolutely going to happen regardless, but we were at risk of the U.S. being behind. And we saw that a lot of entrepreneurs were moving offshore. They were in places like Asia, they were in places like Latin America. And the U.S. was trailing innovation in those different markets. Now what we've seen with Chair Atkins really heavily involved in terms of trying to push forward innovation and create rulemaking, and the Clarity Act, which is moving through Congress right now to try to provide market structure clarity. So all of that together has put the U.S. back at the forefront and has accelerated adoption of these technologies. I think the main takeaway from there's all these traditional financial institutions here. There's a lot of regulators here, from the SEC to the OCC. There's large financial institutions. There's just so much excitement